Okay, well check this out. I have an Alpine Car Stereo today. Look at this thing. From, I believe, the probably mid-80s, if I had to guess at it. And it's got a couple of different issues that the customer is complaining about. But these were very, very nice units in their day. Let's go ahead and move this out of the way. And I do have a note from the customer, so I can get it centered up on screen here. So it's got a couple of issues. Talked about the left channel didn't work, and the seller told him to use some Deoxit D5 to clean a switch. And he did send a couple of pictures. You can go ahead and pause that and read it if necessary. But I just kind of want to get this thing on the bench, get it powered up, and see what it does. So let's go ahead and flip the page. So he circled this module right here. And then this switch right there he did circle. In addition to, there is a couple of connectors right there, possibly plate throughs for a double-sided board, and then all of the pins on the bottom of the unit. He did go ahead and send some pinouts, and he did include a complete Alpine service manual for the unit. Now, luckily, he did send me the harness that I need, which is going to be very useful so that I can actually connect this to speakers and power this thing up. So give me a moment. I'm going to connect this thing up, power it on, and see what it wants to do. One moment. All right, well, I've got everything connected. 4 speakers. I do have power. I do have an antenna connected, and I'm not really too worried about the power shorting out because I have it at a current limited 2-amp power supply. So let's go ahead and give it some power. Okay, power has been applied. Let's turn the dial to on. And I do see 87.5, and it is pulling 0.66 amps at 13.8 volts. And I do hear audio, which is good. Let's go ahead and see if I can figure out how to tune a station. So I got up seek. Where's just tuning? There it is. Wow, it tunes in 0.5 increments. Well, let's go up seek again. So I do have a station on 95.1, and I do have audio on the right channel. So that must be fader. Where is, does it, pull balance? Okay, so there's right, there's left. I just hear barely anything on left at all. So let's pull it. Oh yeah, that's right, and barely, that's up all the way on left. So let's put it back in the middle, turn the volume all the way down. Okay, there's in the center. Will it play a tape? So where is reverse? So this is YouTube copyright-free audio. Now that's all coming out of the right channel. So I'm going to pull this out and go to the left channel. And that's all the way up. I barely hear anything. If I don't hear anything. Plenty on the right, but nothing on the left. Interesting. So it affects the radio and the tape. Where is Give It Back to Me? There it is. And I just barely hear anything on the left-hand channel. All right, let's go ahead and pop the cover off this thing and see what it looks like inside. One moment. Okay, so the top is off. I did apply power. We almost have nothing on the left channel. Now, he indicated that if he twisted this module, that he thought he could get some sound. And he was 100% correct. Is it just that module? And does it affect just that channel on the tape or just the radio. Okay, let's go ahead and pop a tape into it. So we'll turn the balance. So it's just barely on the right channel, mostly on the left. So let me twist this module. I heard something. I think we're in between songs at the moment. There we go. This is the power amp board back here. So I do get buzz when I touch the input on both the right and the left channel, which tells me the power amp board is behaving correctly. So I think I'm going to pull this module out and disassemble it and take a look, a very fine look, and see if I see anything, any broken connections. So let's go ahead and get this board out of the unit and see what I can come up with. Eject. Where's the give it back button? There it is. Now, we did mention a tape problem, but I don't want to address that until I get the audio problem repaired. So if this module controls both the radio and the tape audio function on the left channel, then I think we're going to be good to go ahead and repair that module. One moment. Well, that was pretty painless. Let's go ahead and zoom in on this thing and see if I see any broken connections up close that could cause this issue. Well, okay, I got this board out of the unit, and it appears that this is actually labeled as the FM tuner board, and I don't see any defects on this board at all. All the pins look excellent. I don't see any soldering defects whatsoever. I don't see any cracked or donut connections. But we'll go ahead and just give this thing a quick sweep, and maybe somebody will notice something. If you see something, put the timestamp down there when you see the issue. But everything looks absolutely perfect on this board. So I'm going to go ahead and put the little shield back on it, which is just held in place with a piece of masking tape right there. And reinstall this board. I think there's going to be another issue. Even though the ground wire was not actually connected, I don't think that's going to be a problem. But we'll go ahead and reinstall this thing back in the unit and move forward and do a little bit more troubleshooting, because this board looks absolutely perfect. Well, I went ahead and removed the deck from the unit. And remember, the customer had a couple little plate throughs circled on here. And that's those two right there and right there. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and solder those up, because I have the deck out of the unit right now, waiting for the soldering iron to warm up completely. And we'll just add a drop of solder to those. I'll put the FM tuner back into it, and I'm thinking that we're probably going to end up pulling this board out on this side, which is going to be, I'm not sure what it is, some kind of an audio preamp. Not quite sure, but let's go ahead and resolder those connections that live right there. One moment. Okay, those are good on the top side of the board at least. Not quite sure about the bottom side. I'm just going to do a quick look over on the rest of these connections. There's a bunch of these plate through connections that they use on a double-sided board in the early days, back before they had plate throughs absolutely perfected. Lots of glue. I don't like to see the glue, but the rest of the connections look pretty doggone good. There is that one, if I can find it here. Where am I? Just to the right of the cable, there it is. That one might have a small crack in it. Let's go ahead and just resolder those since I am here. Alrighty, those three look excellent. There's a bunch of other ones right down here. Take a quick look-see and see if I see any issues. Nope, those all look extremely well. And then over past the ribbon cable, there's one hiding. Oh, that was not actually used. That one looks good. Well, let's go ahead and I think I'm just going to look around on this board really closely and see if I see other issues. One moment. All right, so I have the cassette deck out of the unit right now. I'm just going to power this thing on and hopefully we get some audio. And I don't even get a display with that thing out of there. So it must need the cassette deck installed to tell it that it's not in the cassette mode. Well, I guess I got to put that thing back in. One moment again. Okay, cassette deck is reinstalled. Let's go ahead and power this thing back on. And I do get audio. And it is actually playing audio out of the left channel at this point, but I don't think there's a problem in the FM tuner that's going to affect the tape. Okay, well that's working. Hopefully I don't get a content match. Let's put a tape in it. And the left channel is working perfectly right now. Could it have been those two solder connections back here that didn't look too terribly good? Let's flex the whole unit. Wow, working perfectly. Okay. Well, isn't that nice? Eject. And I have no issues at all right now. Well, I guess I'm just going to set this thing aside, hook a power supply up to it, and just let it run on another set of speakers so I can use my workbench, and just let this thing play auto reverse cassettes until the end of time and see what happens with this unit. Did not mean to press eject. Actually, I'll just set it up and let the radio play because it is working perfectly now. I don't get it. What the heck? I didn't do anything but take this out, put it back in, and then solder those two connections back there. There's the audio board. That's only the left channel playing right now. That was the one that we were having troubles with. All right, well, hopefully there'll be a part 2. Everyone, thanks for watching. These things just kind of start working sometimes. Hopefully it will stop again. All right, that's going to be part 1 of the Alpine, what is the freaking model number? 7273L. 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 All right, well, if this thing acts up anymore, I will come back and we'll do a part 2 on it. Once again, thank you for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Everyone have a great day. Bye-bye. All right, well, I have it connected to a couple of speakers here, and I do have a Little 12-volt power supply connected right here. I do have an antenna connected down here, and it's that red wire right there. This is kind of my storage room with stuff to look at for other customers. So that's the tape playing right there. We can change the direction, and it does change. Both speakers are active currently. Switch over to the radio, and the radio is working perfectly. So if I turn this, whoops, I ejected it by mistake. And I want the tape playing because I don't want a copyright strike. So I have to be able to pull this out. And that's the left channel. That's the right channel. I'm just going to leave it on full left right now. So like I said, I've got a tape playing in here. It's connected to the 12-volt power supply over here. So I think we're going to be good. I'm going to let this thing just sit here and cook for a couple of days and see if we get any failures. And if not, we'll button it up and get it ready to ship back to my customer. All right, everyone, thank you for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Everyone have a great day. Bye-bye.